But Charlie's a field player. He doesn't need the math.
Oh, that's a poor. What's 10% here and there?
It's got the fear factor going. Oh, by the way, Ben, whenever you think it's down to like 2 tables, just tell me so that I like won't skip over.
It becomes quite obvious when it's 2 tables. Like we remember who was, so it'll be quite easy.
All right, we got pocket tens. Pocket tens, raise it up. It's like that's like 2.09.
Yeah.
Is that your preset? Okay.
Yeah.
Look at this guy trying to stop and go. Why do these people think they can stop and go?
They just love it. They saw it once in a video and seem to think that every single situation they can find is worth it.
It's like, I mean, you can stop and go. Just don't do it against a pro. He knows what's up. He'll call you a fucking king 4, whatever he raised pre-flop. You got a lot of chips here, man.
Yeah, it was going quite well. I think we were in first. We were just ahead of the guy on our table, NH. Other than that, though, everyone else had like 1.5 tops.
Oh, NH Alabarzi. I feel like I've seen that name before.
Yeah.
Ben's tried to repress that name quite a lot, so we try not.
Who was the guy who beat you, Charlie?
Wayne Diggler, and I hate him.
Diggler, right. And the other, yeah, I remember that avatar and shit.
I bump into him just like quite a lot, and every single time I see him, just something goes in me, and just I need to bust him out of every tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played NH last week again, and just was really determined to bust him, but unfortunately got moved tables quite quickly. So.
Yeah. Fucking NH. Yeah, I was gonna say this is kind of reminiscent of your run, Charlie, because you were chip leading for a long time as well, up until I had it for 2 hands. That was short-lived.
I remember that.
Not as much as I do. Grips, everyone says you suck. You've lost all this money on stars. It was just 2 all-ins, man.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Either way to anyone.
The difference between being a hero and being, why am I even watching your stream, man? You clearly don't win. You definitely suck at pokers. No. Nice flop. See, this is why I suck at pokers and Ben doesn't. When the cards get turned on their backs and he doesn't have the best hand, by the river he does. Magic. 2.4 million. It's amazing how much of a difference if people only judge your ability by your resume in terms of what your cashes are, like how much they will judge your skill based on well, did he win the coin flip at the final table that was worth $500,000? And it's like, so much is missed out when people only look at results.
Yeah, the problem is that the people that are going to be watching your training websites, they're going to be generally or almost always worse than you at poker, so they won't be able to judge whether the plays you are going to be good based on their own merit. So I think they kind of have to be results orientated. It just really sucks from the position of someone that when a play goes bad, you just get 1,000 comments just going, I can't believe I wouldn't have played it like that. That was awful. It's like there's no hindsight. I've been like, oh, it might have gone badly, but it might have been okay.
Wow, that guy was really aggressive in the chat. I guess.
Yeah, it was really intense.
Wow. Good thing we got our avail emoji. Let's talk about the King Jack where you raise against this fish and then don't c-bet.
This guy was playing unconventionally. I think it meant quite a lot to him. And he was speaking a bit, and he'd been speaking about a few other hands that had been played, and he just, it didn't seem like it wasn't a reg. And I think when he's limping, I thought sometimes he does it with aces, and he'll limp shove, and we can just fold rather than hitting, just checking and hitting a pair and getting stat bases. And then if he's not, he might limp call with a worse hand or just limp fold. But on that flop, it's just, it's pretty bad for us and pretty good for him.
If this 9 had been a 3, that would have changed things a lot, but it's not. It is 3 squared, so we're check folding. Secret Illuminati code. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, you didn't try to steal from this guy who had 10 bigs, 4-8? That's cool. Your stack is so nice. 2.5 million chips in the Sunday Million.
Yeah, that's like a final table short stack.
Oh, Gosu tried to 3-bet you, and you said, nah, dude.
Is that the guy that we...
He's the guy who 3-bets heaps.
Yeah, we had a note on him from... I had a note on him, and I had Ben's table up, and Ben had a note on him as well. Just that his small blind 3-bet was ludicrous. We were so happy to have him on our left.
Yeah, he just loves it, and it's just one of those things that, he's just... Compared to his value range, he's just bluffing so much, and we have decent equity, so it's just going to be so cool.
Yeah, this guy is like the most psycho.
Is he well known around the poker community then?
Yeah. I think he's I think he made videos on Tournament Poker Edge.
Oh, okay.
He's very, very aggressive.
Yeah, we enjoy playing against him.
Yeah.
I imagine his style is going to be really effective in these kind of tournaments where most people are going to really care about the money.
Yep.
Yeah, because most people will be like, oh, I could shove ace-5 here, probably good, but if I lose half my stack, I don't want to.
The if always gets the weak type players. It's just like, don't worry about if, just do it, and then see what happens when.
Have a fuck it moment.
Yeah. You can always just get there. The nits always forget that, like, oh wait, if he calls, I could still win. Like, no, if he calls me, I just lose, and I look stupid. That's a huge double
The
win.
look stupid factor really is a massive thing in poker.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it's a thing on the internet, but it still is.
It really is.
Yeah, well, Mr. Miyagi knew what you were doing. He probably had the ace-5 of spades. Yeah, right. He probably had, like, ace-king. Oh, yes! We're gonna get to see cards on their backs. And you got the best hand. And someone just subbed. I gotta send some G-chips before I run this hand out. Nate Sir HC Yassi. Sorry, dude, I don't know how to pronounce that, but you just got some chips, so get stacking. Ben's getting stacking too. Boom. 3,333,250. That's more chips than Somerville had in the tournament on Tuesday. Whoa! Actually, I think it's more chips than the entire Super Tuesday has in play. You're gonna finish this with a really big stack. I haven't clicked through yet. What do we think Gosu's... What's going to happen where you have ace-10 here, man? He went all in on you for 20 bigs, and it's not like you raised the button where you could fist pump call a small blind or big blind reshove. What's going to go down here?
Yeah, I think a lot of the time it's just... I think he's still going to 3-bet small with his completely nutted hands, but I think a lot of the time it's just going to be like ace-10 suited, ace-jack suited, like ace-jack off, ace-queen, ace-king, and then like 7s plus and stuff, and we just don't do that well against that range.
Yeah. Man, I just noticed that the Zanbot sub-hype message is not the custom one that I made. The new sub-hype message sucks. Zanbot's going to have to go back into training. All right. Good fall with the ace. I agree with you, by the way. I think if it was like a blind versus blind thing, we fucking snap call, and if we're all in late position, then we can, because Gosu's reshoving range, he's going to be moving all in with more hands if he thinks we're opening with more hands. And the very fact that we're not opening that many hands from early position means that most of the hands he's going all in with are better than, the worst hand that we're going to be opening. Otherwise, he probably should be going all in with them.
Yep.
You tried to flop an 8, you didn't, but you came close. And let's talk about the turn play, I guess. I don't think there's even too much to say, but people might be curious because there's a million chips in this pot, so.
I think it's actually genuinely quite an interesting play. I think the auto reaction of a lot of people on the turn would be to check back and realize the equity of the draw. But if we look at NH's hand range when he checks the turn, a lot of it, he doesn't have many bluffs because a lot of them bluff the turn, so it's going to be value hands or something with 0 equity. And if we think of the value hands that he will be not betting the turn with, there really aren't that many because yeah, you can have something like Ace Jack maybe, but anything better than that, he'll want to be protecting his hand against what is like the most moist board you can imagine, and he is probably going to be just checking all of his marginal hands, so something like jacks, queens, and kings, and maybe just like ace deuce suited. That but the thing is about those kind of hands, he probably doesn't bet the flop. So even if he does have ace jack and we get called, we do have decent equity against it. And the rest of it, I think he's just going to be folding so often to that bet sizing, especially when we're the only stack that could put that much pressure on him to the whole table, pretty much anyway. That yeah, it just looks like we have a seriously nutted hand here, and there's not much he can do about it. And that even if we do miss the river, there are a lot of rivers that we can bluff against what will be a very capped range in his from his stance.
Yeah. Nice. Boom. So we take her down, and on we go. Oh, Gosu. We're over it. Oh, he's got it. What does he has? Oh, it's a flip.
Yeah. He knows how to widen his value range, but...
Right. Since he's 3-betting a lot, he has to be calling off with more hands than he would if he was tight, because people are going to 4-bet more.
I mean, yeah, kudos to him. We would have been doing exactly the same thing with deuces as well, so...
Yeah.
Fair enough, but...
So, 30 blinds, and jack on the door, and 5.67 million in the stack, and everyone's getting all gel, and people throw the OMG faces in the chat. It's sweet.
Yeah, I think at this point NH was in second, so
Yeah.
stuff was going pretty well.
It seems weird that no spoilers. You could see how you saying him in second is a perfect setup though for a nice Woody. I guess that's kind of a spoiler. I was shit.
It's cool. It didn't sound that clear, so yeah, that's pretty spoilery.
What's clear is that we have the best hand here with 2 jacks against 2 tens and ace queen suited, and that's much more exciting than anything I just said. So they've already forgotten about that.
Exactly.
The flop, damn,
Scary.
all
Yeah.
the pot over to that guy.
We're never winning on that block.
Never, ever win.
I think that fresh Clems probably shouldn't be in there. But, you know, we can't be too bitter at him because I think he plays quite a nice role in the rest of the tournament, so we're cool.
Once there's so he's effectively calling your 15 big blind reshove. I mean, the other guy's there, but if he can win the side pot against you, it's fine. He only started the hand with like 15 bigs. It's hard for him to want to raise full because he should obviously call you if the other guy doesn't call, right?
Yeah, but I think once both of us are in, there's just such a high percentage chance that we have at least one hand between us that hasn't crushed.
That's true. There is always a fine line. Like the nitty me is always like, well, I can't call once there's 2 other people in because I'm going to be smashed. And then like, you know, the more aggro in me is like, yeah, but there's also more money in the pot that you can win now. You don't need as good of odds as if you were running it heads up.
The thing is, against our reshove as well, he's not going to be doing that great still because we're not going to be shoving hands like even sevens. I think is a fold and eights, and we're not going to be shoving ace jack. So he's actually doing quite badly against our reshove range.
True, but we get wrecked.
We okay.
All right, so we're gonna now start leaning on the second place stack because that's what you do when you have big chips. That's why Ben 3-bet him with 8-7 suited and started putting the pressure. Now, are you gonna call the river since you've turned, you know, some showdown value and you beat his flop floats, or do you think he mostly has pocket pairs that are bigger than yours, queens?
Yeah, I don't think he floats that often on the flop. Like sometimes he'll have, you know, ace jack and ace 10 and stuff, but I don't think they always bluff the river.
Yeah.
You know, because they can just kind of check, and if we're not going to go, you know, we're not going to bet the river that often if we just have like king jack off and have shut down. So I just think a lot of the time he's just going to have, you know, queen or jacks or something, and I don't think we're good that much.
Give me one sec. Someone's asking something in the chat, so I have to clarify. The bundle giveaway, guys, is happening if we get 20 retweets. Oh, look at that. 20 retweets. Well, I guess I have to... I gotta run a giveaway. Okay, but in the meantime, we'll just G-Chips raffle open 10 G-Chips per ticket, guys. 10 tickets maximum per person. Grips book bundle. I said I wouldn't do this during the stream, but I mean, when the team's coming through strong, we gotta give the people what they want. People love that free shit.
I messaged you on Skype as well.
You messaged me something on Skype?
Yeah.
Is it something I should read now, or should I save it till later?
Probably now. It's short.
Okay. If we hit 500 viewers, guys, we have something. Actually, you know what? Fuck 500. 420. When we hit that 420 viewer hype that we're really fucking close to right now, we got something very special that we're going to do as a prize. So all you guys have to do to make that happen is just throw in your retweets and tell us about these fours, man, because you know, ace 5 suited. Well, it's funny because I'm gonna say like ace 5 suited, yeah, sure, and like ace jack, that's a good hand, but fours is a lot weaker. I mean, this is ballsy. Let's hear about these pocket fours on hand 545. This is good.
Just the spot that we talked about a lot before as well, that Mickey was, you know, still being quite aggressive. He wasn't one of the people that, you know, obviously really cared.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think he was still trying to get a stack. And just with his stack size, the hands that he's going to be 3-betting small to induce are just like aces and kings. Everything else at this stage in the tournament, like even with queens, you don't really want to induce, you know, shoves too wide with like ace jack and stuff. So I think just so many of his hands, he's just going to be shoving. Like ace king, he's not going to go small, he's just going to shove 20 bigs.
Right.
So, you know, and we are obviously still going to be opening quite wide, so I think he's just going to be light, you know, quite often.
And do you think he's also going to be flatting his super premiums fairly often, since he only has like 18 bigs? Because it's a sweet stack size to like slow play aces and stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like his only value hands that he 3-bets that small, like, well, not only, but you know, mostly are aces and kings, and yeah, a decent amount of the time with his stack and like ode behind, like he's just going to flat those. So yeah, I think it's fine.
Cool. So we go all in, and Mickey is all out because he feared the Reaper. A lot. Charlie's like the peel master, and you're just like the push master. Anytime I see Charlie, he's in a pot. It's after the flop, and he's bluffing. But if they call, he's winning. He's only bluffing when they raise. And anytime I see Ben in a pot, he's all in, and they're folding. And
He's getting.
yeah, and his hand doesn't look good, but if he got called, it'd still be good enough to win a massive pot. A lot. That's the other thing about like when we have all the chips. The whole thing about the ICM chips, like all the additional chips not being worth as much. It's like you're playing with house money. When you're like, yeah, I'll 4-bet all in with this hand. Like, these chips that I'm losing off the top of my stack aren't worth anywhere near the chips that you have to gamble for.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, the raffle, we'll keep it open for like 3 more minutes. So just type !ticket and then a number between 1 and 10. And in 3 minutes, I'll just pick the winner. Don't want it going too long. All right, so yeah. You ain't scared of no chip leader. You know he's going to be opening wide. Hit him with the 3-piece. Ace-10 takes it down. Man, you're putting on a little clinic here. This is a good hand history. No wonder you won 170 Gs. Played good. All right. This is in contrast to what we've seen earlier. You've been 4-betting all in a fair amount and folding the 3-bets a fair amount. This is the first flat call we've seen since very early. So... Tell us tell us about this King Jack suited hand. I know we're gonna call, and I'd like to know what the game plan is.
Yeah, I think we're way too deep to 4-bet jam against him. Like, it would just be kind of ICM suicide. We've got such a good stack in the tournament. We're, I think, second or third. And have decent reads on the table. Like, a lot of the people on the table aren't regs. So we feel pretty good. But this guy had been opening a lot and 3-betting. So our hand is pretty good. If we flop big draw and can play aggressively, or just flop king or jack high board, we can cool down pretty happily. I think it's going to be 3-betting light enough, and c-betting on the boards that we hit a lot to make it profitable. But on the board we got.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point that some people miss, is like, even though we're gonna miss the board more often than we're gonna hit it, when we do hit, we gain chips because we usually have the best hand, and the amount of chips that we gain on those times that we hit make up for all the times that we miss and lose on our pre-flop investment. And you got aces.
We got aces against the nittiest person on the table, raising under the gun.
And he folded to a 3-bet? That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, that was the worst beat of the day.
Yeah, everyone type failfish in the chat with a capital F AIL, capital F ISH. And let's try it again. We got aces. And big stack raises, and we 3-bet him, and we've 3-bet him before, and I like this flop, and I like where this is going, as long as he doesn't have kings. If it was Charlie, the guy would have kings. Just call. So, all right, tell us a little bit about the just call on the flop.
Okay, so once we 3-bet the chip leader, I think a lot of the time, he was a weaker player we'd already discovered. I think a lot of the time he's just going to be getting stubborn, and he's going to be in the mindset of, like, I'm the chip leader, I shouldn't be able to be pushed around by somebody that's got a shorter stack than me. And when he raises the flop, he doesn't rep anything, and any good player will know that. He can rep deuces and pocket fives, and that is it. Like, ace king wouldn't raise, and if it did, we're ahead of it, and a lot of flush draws wouldn't raise, just because but they may. But I think a lot of the time when weaker players in these tournaments, when they're quite deep, they'll choose to call and take the lower variance spots with flush draws.
Yeah.
Because they're in the mindset where if they do hit it, they're so secure that they've got the best hand, but if not, it's such a massive gamble. And I think the feeling of security in someone else's mind is such a big thing in these spots. So when he raises, we're pretty confident he's going to be bluffing a lot of the time, especially when we have the ace of diamonds. It's not often going to be a bluff, it's just going to be a pure bluff. So we're going to just call, so we give him as much opportunity as we can to keep bluffing.
Yeah.
After the turn goes check check, I remember I was looking over at this point. I think I was bust out of all my tournaments, and he snap checks the turn, and it's just something that you can pick up from playing loads and loads of hands of cash. When somebody snap checks the turn like that, when they don't consider bluffing, they don't consider value betting, it's so often just a marginal strength hand. So a one pair hands generally on this kind of board. Like even if you had a set there, he may choose to check that. Like, probably not, but or any kind of just, I don't know, like queen of diamonds hand, like queen jack with the queen diamonds, he'd probably at least think for a few seconds. So when we can so confidently put him on, it's going to be one pair hands, we can then bet what we think a one pair hand will call.
Yeah.
So I like Ben's sizing on the river, which I think even if we go 1.5 million, it might give him a lot more reason to be able to fold the marginal strength hands that we think he has quite often. But 1.1, it just looks like he's getting too good a price, and we could be floating, and he's still in that situation where he's like, I'm the chip leader, I don't want to be pushed around by this guy, and it's not much of my stack to call. So I think there's a lot of things that are kind of hidden thoughts about just his timing on the turn. So it's actually a really good point to make if you are playing against somebody, maybe a tournament reg that you recognize, not to make any decisions straight because it can give information about your hand that you don't think it could give a lot of the time.
Yeah. As Bill and Ted would say, excellent. He called you with sixes. Wow, that's ambitious.
So ambitious.
Like, ace queen float turn into a yeah, right. This guy's a fish. I've seen him 3x twice. I've just seen him make a brutal call. You must be loving that this guy's on your table with 5 million chips.
Yeah, I mean, we'd slowly started searching all the players that are on the table, and we absolutely loved our table position.
Yeah, it's very.
There are a couple of decent players in there, but the rest of them, they were just gems.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, congratulations to True Stacker, who won the first raffle. You're getting a free copy of the Grips book bundle. That's the $8 MTT guide, $18 cash game crash course, and the $1 cheat sheets, a pair of them. So send me a PM, buddy, with your email address so that I can ship those to you after the stream is donezo. And we still got something special planned. Just wait until we hit that 420 viewer hype, which we're really close to. Jack 9, that's a little too much heat. And 20 bigs is too much to call with King Jack. Sevens, weigh it in. Everyone's out. Alright. Dem pot odds, though. I imagine you will be calling with pocket threes here, getting... See, guys, he's got to call 600K into a pot that's going to be 2.1 million. So if you just get the old ghetto calculator and divide 6 into 21, his chance of winning only needs to be 28% for this to be profitable. And when we roll the cards over, we see that he has less than 28% because his opponent has a bigger pair, which would make this look like a bad call. But if we put in the range, by the way, Charlie, there's going to be a little favor that I do for you here from our calculation earlier. We took out his premium hands, but he still didn't have 67%. So if we give the guy even just the super strong hands, ace, king, ace, queen, and then the pairs over tens. Let's give him, this is super tight, but if we do it against this and we take threes, you see we still have 34%, which is higher than the 28% needed, and that's why this is a good call. And even though he happens to have sevens this time, you could have just as easily had ace king. We can't see through the cards. All we can do is assess all the possible hands he could have and make our decision based on that. And we lose an all-in. No.
Yeah, I think now, Evan, this is final 2 or 3.
Okay.
Tables. I'm not completely sure which. I think final 3.
Yeah. Yeah. You know it, potato nabs.
Yeah, we had Clem's to order it left.
So we're final 3 tables, so there's like 27 players left in the million. This shoves a bit much, I'd imagine, yeah. Gotta let that ace-9 go.
Yep.
No need to be a big hero at this point, guys. We've built a really nice stack at 5 million, and we can be very selective of the spots that we take. The last thing we're trying to do right now, despite the fact that it's a poker tournament, is gamble. And Mickey is just ready to go. Probably catching the cards to do it. I wouldn't imagine he or she is going nuts, but owed class in with the natural 9. So we think this is final two. Oh, Avi B MVP, the guy who never loses an all-in. I remember this guy. Yeah, this is final 2 tables, right?
Yeah.
When the big blind's 130K. All right, guys. So to anyone tuning in, there are 18. We are reviewing the Sunday Million chop from last week. There are currently 18 players remaining, 2 tables left. We're getting close. We got a couple hundred more hands to go, and we got 5 million chips.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This could still be final 3. I think it's close.
I am extremely confident based on the layout of the players. Actually, wait, because I started tuning in when there were 4 tables left, right?
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that, actually. I think it might be final 3.
I feel like AVI was on your left. Whatever.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
We'll figure